Stage 1, a walk to remember. Loadout, none. Required gear, plate carriers, rifle slung, pistol retained, no magazine. Time cap, 1 hour, 20 minutes. On the call of go, athletes will follow the marked path. Time stops when the athlete crosses the start-finish line and announces their athlete number. Stage 2, the narrows. Loadout, 4x15 rifle, 4x12 pistol. Time cap, 15 minutes. Firing sequence. Rifle will be shot from the PVC inside the barricade. Handguard must be in contact with the PVC and may not be touching anything else. Pistol will be shot from the marked ports. Athletes will begin on the start-finish line with one set of magazines retained, all others staged on the start-finish line. On the call of go, athletes will grab their handled bags and move towards the rig. Athletes will bear crawl with their bags under the rig. Once navigated, they will retain their bags and move towards the firing line. Once reached, athletes will begin firing sequence 1. Once complete, athletes will weave their bags back through the rig and return it to the start-finish line. They will then grab a second set of mags. This process will be repeated for rounds 2 through 4. Time stops when the athlete and the bags cross the start-finish line. Stage 3, gas station sushi. Loadout, 3x12 rifle, 3x9 pistol. Time cap, 15 minutes. Firing sequence, rifle, standing freestyle. Pistol, standing freestyle. A max of 18 hits per rifle target will be scored. Athletes will begin with a ruck staged in the appropriate area. On the call of go, athletes will don their rucks and load their sleds. Rucks will stay on for the entirety of the event. Once loaded, athletes will move their body past the yoke. Once the athlete is sitting on the ground, they may begin pulling the sled with their hands. Once the threshold of the yoke has been passed, the athlete may move the sled towards the box any way they see fit. All of the bags on the sled will need to be moved over the box. Once all of the bags have been moved over the box, the athlete will move themselves over the box. The sled can then be pulled around any way they seem fit. All of the bags will then be loaded onto the sled again. Athletes will then drag the sled any way they see fit to the parallel. Once reached, the athlete and the sled must pass under the parallel. Once complete, the athlete will drop their sled in the drop zone and move towards the firing line for firing sequence 1. Once complete, athletes will drag their sleds any way they see fit back to the start-finish line. Once reached, a bag may be dropped as prescribed below. This process will be repeated for rounds 2 through 3. Time stops when the sled and all of its contents are returned to the start-finish line. Stage 4, TTG 101. Loadout, 4x8 rifle, 4x8 pistol. Time cap, 15 minutes. Firing sequence. Center post to the tank trap for all firing sequences. Standing freestyle pistol. A maximum of 16 rifle rounds will be counted in each circle, a maximum of 8 hits per pistol shape. Athletes will begin on the start-finish line. On the call of go, athletes will load their bars as they see fit. Once all bars are loaded, the first trip will be made. A successful trip is when the axle is carried overhead or both farmers' carry handles have made it to the drop zone. Both implements must be returned to the start-finish line before the second trip for either implement can be attempted. The bars must be carried off the ground on the return trip, but are not required to be carried overhead. A total of 4 trips will be made, 2 with each implement, and a total of 4 firing sequences will be performed. Time stops once all the implements have been returned to their starting point. Bars may be reloaded during the stage, but both bars are required to be in the same drop zone in order to be reloaded. Stage 5, clear the table. Loadout, 3x12 rifle, 3x12 pistol. Time cap, 12 minutes. Firing sequence. Rifle will be shot through the 3 marked ports. Pistol will be shot in contact with the barricade. A maximum of 12 rounds of pistol will be counted in each shape. Athletes will begin on the firing line with 1 set of mags retained and all others staged on the finish line. On the call of go, athletes will begin shooting firing sequence 1. Once complete, they will move from the firing line to the rig. Once reached, athletes will begin moving bags and themselves over the bars. Once the wooden planks have been reached, they will move the bag over the wooden plank and themselves under. If a bag falls off of the planks in the process of being moved, the bag will be returned to its starting point and the attempt will be made again. The bag must touch the ground before the next rep is attempted. They will continue moving the bag over the rig until the end is reached. Once they have navigated over the final bar, they will stress carry the bag down beyond the start-finish line. Bag must touch the ground beyond the start-finish line to grab the set of mags. Once complete, athletes will return to the rig and move the bag over the cross members. Once the end is reached, the athlete will return to the firing line for firing sequence 2. Athletes will return to the rig and repeat this process for round 3. Time stops when the athlete touches the start-finish line. Stage 6, higher standards. Loadout, 3x12 rifle, 3x12 pistol. Time cap, 12 minutes. Firing sequence. Rifle, standing freestyle. Pistol, both knees in contact with the ground. A maximum of 18 rounds will be counted in each rifle target and 12 rounds in each pistol triangle. On the call of go, athletes will begin by completing box step-overs. They will receive 1 point for every rep completed during the 1-minute sequence. A successful rep is when both feet start on the ground, touch the top of the box, and touch the ground on the opposite side. Nothing but feet may touch the top of the box. The bag must be retained throughout the entirety of the movement. At the 1-minute mark, they will move to the firing line and complete their first rifle firing sequence. Athletes will have 1 minute to complete all 12 rifle shots. If they complete early, they may move back to the box, but cannot begin stepping over until the 1-minute rifle shooting time is complete. Stage 7, TAC-2 gun. Loadout, as desired. Time cap, 120 seconds. Firing sequence, as desired. Athletes will engage rifle steel. When desired, rifle will be put on safe and staged in the box. Athletes will then begin engaging pistol steel. Pistol steel requires 2 hits per piece to be neutralized.